then if you approve of that, I'll have you stamp this one. This
Okay.
here, and then this one would have to be stamped and then signatures. Excuse me, Willie.
So, was that your motion?
Pretty close to my motion. I'll make the motion to approve the treasurer's semi-annual report.
I'll second it.
Motion Smith, and second Derby to approve the treasurer's semi-annual report. All in favor, say aye.
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 That one too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
And I
Joey.
need Terry and Sue.
Yep,
Oh,
Mhm.
go ahead.
Thank you so much. You guys have a good day.
Yep.
Trevor, do you wanna sign and then I'll leave you a copy?
Yep.
Okay,
prisoners fund is going up every year.
is Chris here?
Did you get one of these?
Yeah, I asked for
You
it.
gotta pick it up.
Pick it
right?
up, 75
Why?
30.
It's a 50-50 chance. Why can I never remember which it is?
C-75 vote.
75-11,
credit
is it?
note.
11 for Chris.
Oh, 11?
75-11.
I had 50-50 chance too.
50-50 chance.
Yeah, I see her. All right, thank
Oh,
you.
look at there.
Auditor's office will discuss drainage matters.
I don't have anything. Well, that's no fun.
Anybody else?
Nope.
Nope, I don't have anything either.
Well,
Except for what to do about that tank in the,
They're gonna get in there, do it. They're gonna have to have
Yeah.
a long stick, they said. So.
okay.
is that in a drainage ditch, was it?
Right before the river,
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, that's
where
right.
the
That's where it's at.
railroad crosses,
Mhm.
used to.
Yeah, it's a good old little
And they're gonna
pilings
take
there.
out those railroad
The pilings or whatever.
cars. Couldn't think of the word.
So you'll see some action in our drainage just going through your next, well, actually, it's gonna be on somebody else's property, that part of it, so they have to access.
Did you see the pictures of that at all?
Uh-uh.
So where there's down trees in there.
Right before, upstream from where the railroad pylons are,
Yeah.
There's down trees and now there's also an additional
polytech.
big green poly tank, the 8 foot wide by. So if you could use one of those on the,
Welcome to it.
welcome to it, yeah.
Possibly. How big are you?
I can show you the pictures.
I bet it's 8 foot wide by
Well, I don't know.
5 foot tall.
Is it that big?
Might be 6.
Is it like a septic tank?
No, it's
No,
like
it's just like a-
chemical tank for
Chemical tank.
A
people.
water
Water tank.
tank. A lot of guys use them on trailers as
Okay.
water tanks.
We don't know how damaged it is,
Sure.
or if it's damaged.
It floats.
It'll still float.
It must have floated.
It looks like somebody built a dam there with all the,
Right?
Yeah,
and there had no reports of beavers there anyway.
Chris will show you the picture of it.
All right, well then, nothing else for drainage. We'll move on to consider for approval 2026 drainage levies.
feel like we're staying pretty close to about $500,000 the last couple of years, which is nice. We don't have that much in outstanding warrants, so that's good for the treasurer. And I don't have anything outstanding from a prior year. Everything that's outstanding is just this fiscal year. So I'm pretty proud of that. For our landowners that have, paid their tax statements, and so nothing's old.
Mhm.
We only had one trustee district that wanted to levy and didn't have any outstanding debt. But that's okay. They can just have money in their fund. There's a couple that I noticed that, at the time, the bill was like $3,000. But I didn't know that there were only maybe a few landowners. So I might get called on those because they were not aware, but the bill wasn't that high. I just didn't realize there were hardly any landowners.
A couple of, like 2 of them?
Maybe, if I remember right. So those, I feel bad, but I don't have to send a letter either. I usually just do it at 10,000.
Yeah,
So. And with that small area, they probably know there was work done.
Yeah, I would.
You know what I mean?
They would know it.
They saw it, but they just don't know how much they owe.
Yeah. And they could have called.
Sure.
Then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
does this want to be stamped?
No, not yet, because I need to wait until I find out who approves it first, and then I'll change the names, and then we can do that.
Okay.
And you don't need to stamp it because there's a line to sign.
done by Carlos Blake. What was done there?
That's all that, north of the highway there. A bunch replaced.
What was the dollar amount on that?
Oh, depends on which one you're talking about.
Oh.
Be here. We'll see.
61,000 or something.
That's what I was looking at.
Welcome to land ownership.
Or is this something I want to-
I say, if you don't want to pay drainage, don't own land.
Yeah, when you buy it, you knew it, and if you owned it and put it in there, you know it. It's just the way it is.
I'll make the motion to approve the 2026 drainage levies.
I'll second it.
A motion by Smith and a second by Derby to approve the 2026 drainage levies. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, I'll go and change the names, and then I'll bring the original back. Thank you.
Scott Miners, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters.
I would have you stamp the second sheet,
The big one?
nope,
Cause you
yep.
like them.
So,
I don't want the resolution stamped, I want the, like that,
so do you want the top of it stamped in there?
just on the back is fine where,
Okay.
someplace where it's, yeah. Thank you. Now it's the 75/30.
Yeah, it is. I can remember that part. I can just never, we're having a discussion on how to run the phone. Yeah, we're ready for it. I got the 75-30 and the 75-11. Oh, I memorized, but I just can't remember where you're supposed to pick up the receiver. Why is that top?
Yeah, just, I asked Jim Leggy to
Yeah.
be here today. He's
Oh,
who's done our roadside spray.
okay.
So,
Yep, I'm from Hancock County, down by Garner.
Yep.
We do all of Hancock as well. Used to do a lot with Iowa DOT as well. So,
Okay. How far are you on getting the contract fulfilled for the?
It's done. I just don't send it until Chris kind of goes out. If he sees anything that needs to be touched up, we'll go out and take care of it.
Okay.
I just don't want to jump the gun if we need to do a little bit more application.
Yeah.
It's all by how many gallons we use.
Okay.
Yep. So there's spots, I'm sure, in Hancock, this has been the worst year of thistles we've ever seen. It's just, they just keep coming. Even if they, if we sprayed, if it was 30 feet away, there's more of them, so. There's a lot this year.
Is it mostly 2,4-D in that area that you do, or?
No, we don't, we do use 2,4-D as an oil carrier, sometimes, just to help make it a little more potent. But we use TerraView is, one of our main products. We use Vaseline, which is trichlor. We use MSM 60, which is mesotrinone. So more heavy hitters. We want to maintain some brush control with it as well, especially like for some of your viney plants. So it's more than just a 2,4-D mix.
Right.
Otherwise, you're not getting what you're paying for if you're just doing 2,4-D.
And you can't be switching products all the time either, probably.
No, those are all mixed together. It's a pretty aggressive mix. But it also gives some residual where it's at. It'll give especially if we can try and beat the weed bank a little bit. Wherever we're spraying, there's probably more seed underground. Typically, and you're looking at most of the time a 5-year weed bank that's underneath, especially if it has been sprayed much. Like the state, they've done real well over the last 10 years. They've been spraying really hard. So they've mitigated a lot of that, but even Hancock, we were struggling with it. That's how I got involved in this with the counties, was I was upset with how I farmed down there and we were just getting weeds terrible. And I've been at it for 4 years in Hancock and it's a lot better. But it takes some time.
So what is the residual?
What is the
I
residual?
mean, how
like,
long
time?
does it, yeah,
It kind of depends on how much we get out there when we're doing it. We're spot spraying. It's not like we're going out broadcasting, so we aren't getting an exact rate.
Mhm.
But with the spot spray mix, we're hoping for 3 months.
Oh.
So that 3 months will hopefully get the next flush. We'll try and catch those, but a residual will not kill a seed in the ground. It'll only kill it when it germinates. So we're just trying to catch one more flush.
So which one of the cocktail was the residual?
So TerraView has a very good residual in MSM 60. MSM 60 is generic escort, if you guys have ever heard of that. So it's a generic version.
How often do you do all of Hancock's roads every year?
Yep, so we do all of Hancock every year, and then we do a quarter of the county for brush. So we do it in quadrants, and rotate around in a circle. And we're on year 4 with them, and so we've done the whole county for brush as well now. But brush is tough because, you can spray everything and the next year you got seeds dropped again. So we just try and catch them before they're over 10 feet tall. That's the goal. Then we can kill them. They get over that big and then it's just hard to kill them. We might only get half control and then they end up having to be, brush cut, but then we spray them. If we can spray them again, we usually can get them. But yeah, we spray the whole county every year. And we're getting ahead on it, so it's getting a lot better. The first 2 years were pretty tough. We did a lot of full broadcasts, especially blacktops. We do them full broadcasts with a truck and just dump gallons trying to get it knocked out. Especially if they're tied onto a highway. Highways are bad. I know you guys probably see it on Highway 69 coming out of like Minnesota. It's terrible in parsnip. They just get littered from traffic. So then it spreads from there down to blacktops. So it's a tough thing to beat, but it just takes time.
So we had a lot of comments about the, Queen Anne's, or looks like Queen Anne's too, being so invasive. What do you call it? I don't know what it's called. The white-
Wild carrot.
Wild carrot, yeah.
Yep. That's not as tough to kill as a parsnip for us. The big thing is seeing it. You know, right now it's blooming, so you're seeing it. What the problem is early June, it's harder to see. When we're out spraying, and if we're spot spraying and all, and it's small, but then it kind of blooms out later in the season. Same with parsnip, timing is a huge thing. We're going out to get invasive species, so June is the best time for the invasive species list. If you want to truly go out and kill some of these other things, you're gonna have to go out in September. September, early March, and March is tough. March, April is kind of the window. That's really tough because a lot of people are doing field work and you're spraying down the side of a road and all of a sudden field cultivators come, you gotta stop. Well, then you gotta backtrack because you gotta get your rate back going again. We found the best timing for when we're doing our full broadcast is usually August, September. Because nobody's out on the gravel roads and we can just run to keep our momentum going and keep our application right. For the state, that's typically when we were doing it, August through September was kind of the best time to do truck runs. Least amount of traffic on the highways too.
So would you say the amount of labor that it takes to spot spray versus a blanket spraying? I mean, does it
It's-
offset the,
We don't split it
Cost?
up labor and machine, but spot spraying is a lot cheaper machine wise. We use a lot smaller machines. We use trucks and semis to go out and do full broadcast because we have to use more gallons. So we do everything with boomless tips. We've tried to use booms, but road signs are a booger. They just take
too many
booms off.
signs, right?
We either break your signs or we break our boom, one of the two. So we switched to boomless tips, which works really well. We do have one truck set up with twin boomless with a big boom that holds the second one, and we go up and over signs, but it doesn't hold the gallons. It's more for like say a winding road or blacktops with lots of signs. That's wide right away. We'll use that. But most of these gravel roads or most of the blacktops, we can reach 40 feet right aways. And what did you guys probably average? What a 30 to 25, 30 foot right away on gravel roads? 33. Yep. So we can reach 40 with our boomless tips. And personally, I don't want to spray within the last 2 feet. I want the farmer needs to take care of their edge. Even this year, you know, Chris called and we had a little bit of overspray. We take care of that. That's our deal. It's not your guys' liability. So if I go and spray right up to the fence line and I dig a bunch of beans, it's pretty bad for me liability wise. Farmer has to maintain a little bit of the fence edge. So that's kind of Hancock, how we've gone about it. We leave 4 feet from the edge of the crop. So if there's no fence, it's 4 feet. If there's a fence, it's usually about 2 feet because the farmer gives about 2 feet on their side. 4 feet is what we try and shoot for. But back to your question on cost, it's pretty expensive to run these semis down the road, hauling a lot of water. I figured it to do all of your county, we're talking, if we did all broadcasts with trucks, we're probably talking 20 to 30,000 gallons of water. So that's a lot of truckloads. Luckily we can bulk fill with them, but it just takes time to spray all that off. And then it's, you know, dosing wise, you're not turning on and off with a truck, you're just going, so you're gonna use a lot more chemical.
I just didn't know if, you know, if there was that labor factor of individual four-wheelers and rangers and extra people and,
Yeah,
You know.
you're gonna have a little bit more people doing spot spraying. You're gonna have a little bit more equipment cost. So there, I would say it's gonna be more expensive to go out by a long shot to go out and use the trucks, but you're gonna get a much better job done.
yeah,
That's the big thing. But you're talking, you know, right now you guys are at $60 a mile. It's gonna be 100 to 110 a mile to go out with a truck. So, and kind of the way I figure it is, you know, you're gonna look at about, I think it was like 50 some dollars an acre is what it costs to spray. You guys have roughly, I think it's I got it in here, 5,000 or 7,000. Let's see. you have 5,600 acres roughly, I figured, of right away. And that's actually short. If you're 33 feet, I was figuring 30. So 5,800 acres of right away that would have to be sprayed. If you truly did, now, you know, from edge of road to the field.
Yeah, that'd be less. I mean, 33 from the center of the road. So you can
Okay.
take 12 foot off
Perfect.
that, you get.
So you probably have 5,200 acres, give or take, you know, just kind of rough math, I'm thinking. So you start saying that, your cost per acre is about $55 an acre. Which seems really high, you know, when you're thinking about it. But if you think about how many times farmers spray their fields, you know, I farm, my cost per acre, cheapest I can get away with for corn with a pre and post before application, I'm at $42 an acre. And I own my own custom spray business, so we run 3 highways. Nobody's getting it cheaper other than maybe the co-ops. So if I'm at 42, 43 bucks an acre, that's before application costs. So 2 applications, I'm at 60 some dollars an acre to hit my fields and do a full broadcast. That's a pretty cheap rate to go out and try and spray once and get most of this done. It's gotta be expensive.
Do you think there'd be, I don't know if you've looked into it at all, but using drones to go along the roadside?
So drones, you can't spray most herbicides with drones.
Okay.
Because you get your draft underneath,
Oh.
you know, you get your flush. So if you try and spray along the edge of a field, you're gonna flush into their crop. That's really tough to use a drone that way. Most chemicals are not gonna be on label, which anything I use isn't. So all mine are aquatic labeled, but they're not labeled for drones. So I could go and spray across standing water and be okay. We don't want to do it, but we're labeled, it's okay. But that's one of the big concerns. We talked about it for doing highway right of ways, especially in places where we couldn't reach with ATVs. You know, we could get most places we could get some of those real steep side hills, we couldn't get to them. And they shut us down right away for not being able to have chemical that's labeled for it. The other thing is your liability is insanely high. You run along power poles and right of ways where there's traffic. So if you hit a car or semi or something, who's responsible? And you hit a power pole, it's expensive.
What height does that spray at and with a drone?
So when we've used them on fungicide, we're shooting for that, you know, 6 to 7 feet at max. But drones also don't, when you're spraying, they don't fly and follow the topography of the ground. They fly until they hit a minimum, then they stop, they pick up, they go again. If they get too high, they stop, they lower it, and it gets really inefficient. The other thing is you're not going back and forth either.
Right.
So you can't go catch the drone. We've thought about it, but financially doesn't work out for us to do it that way. We even talked about using like our Hagies and Deers to go out and do it and use booms so we can go up and over and spray 2 sides at once, but it's just not cost effective compared to trucks. They're just so expensive to replace those machines for what they are. You know, it's to trade for a new machine right now, you're talking $200 to $230 an hour. That's just trading machine.
So that boneless nozzle, you're able to adjust it then for how far it's.
So we can run different pressure if we want, so we can idle our pump up and down. Typically we run our pump at the same pressure, and then we've got an actuator that rotates the nozzle. So what you do if you gotta get closer or further, we can only reach 40 feet max. That's just full out. But if we need to get closer, we just pull it down. It gets a higher application rate, but we really don't figure for that. We figure for the minimum rate we're gonna get. If it goes more, we're just gonna kill more. It's just tough to adjust it, you know, spraying at speed and pressure. We don't run GPS on these trucks. That's just another added cost to it. So we run a certain speed with a certain pressure, and that's what we go for. That's how we apply with them. We've talked about putting GPS on, but it really doesn't do anything other than add cost to the consumer because we know where we're going, what we're spraying. You know, we can put like a rating rate controller on, but it's not necessarily going to help us much.
So in the areas you've been around the county here, do you think we need to put more effort into it and money into it, or are we getting behind? And
I think when we started, we were way behind. It depends what you're trying to go after. Thistle wise, you guys aren't doing bad. Noxious weeds, I don't think you're doing terrible, but parsnip is not on that list. That's where it gets tricky. So that's probably one of the worst ones we've seen around. You guys have a terrible wild
So
parsnip.
I don't think the three of us care if it's on a noxious list or not.
Right. So if you're just talking flat out weeds, not grass, yes, I would say you guys have a pretty big problem. You're fighting a couple other things too that we don't fight in Hancock County. You have a ton of DNR ground.
Yeah.
It doesn't get maintained to the same standard probably, and it's hard. You got wetlands, you've got things that aren't easily accessible or terrain that's not able to be covered that gets this parsnip and it moves it around. There's a reason it's in DNR ground. That's a tough thing for you guys to compete with, because it just spreads from there. But yes, I would say, you guys are spending a quarter of what Hancock is spending right now, and Hancock's 4 years into it, and they were spraying before, not quite as heavily. But you're a quarter of the budget that they
But
have.
we have less townships.
Correct. But when we
But not
started,
a quarter.
you have, right, you have probably 10 times the pizza. We've never broadcast sprayed the whole county in Hancock. We have done blacktops, and we kind of try and pick and choose which ones we do. And we've kind of gotten to a point there now, we only do like 3 blacktops a year with the truck, just to keep the cost down. But the first couple of years, we spent a lot in chemical. I would say, I don't think your whole county needs to be 100% broadcast. What I would say though, is you're gonna probably look at 50% of it would have to be broadcast sprayed. To be, Chris called me about this last night, so I didn't have a ton of time to prepare. I mean, if you were gonna broadcast spray the whole thing, you're looking at probably 300 grand. That's way out of the budget. I'm gonna guess it's way too high. So, can you look at a budget of, like right now, Hancock's at 100. Can you look at a budget of 130, 140? If you said 130, we put that extra 30,000 towards just broadcast spraying, and the other 100 goes towards spot spraying, and hammer the whole county for 4 years. But I don't know what your guys' budgets are.
Hindsight is 2020. If we'd have started this 5 years ago when I jumped on my soapbox, maybe we wouldn't have this problem.
Parsnip soapbox?
My parsnips, no, soapbox. I'm a farmer as well,
Yeah.
so
And it's tough. It's a tough weed. I mean, if we could go out around it, we could smoke this thing cheap.
Yeah.
But we can't kill ditches off, so it's an expensive weed to kill. The other thing is it's a tough one on timing. I mean, you're looking at the best time to kill them is going to be August, September, when they're in that little rosette stage. As soon as it starts bolting out of the plant and getting tall, we're behind. We can kill them, but we're going to eat a lot of chemical doing it, and we're going to say we probably, most time we sterilize them. They still grow, but it's sterilized seed. But it's still a dangerous plant out there. But we haven't killed any of the seed underground.
So if you were out in August, September, at that optimum time, what type of equipment do you use then?
So I would say most of the time we're going to be using a broadcast. And that's where I guess it's tough for me because I don't live here. In Hancock, I could go and I could point out, here's the bad roads. I know them all. We're all around that area. Up here, I don't know where your bad spots are. So the easiest way, and what we've done with like Jeremy, compile a list, tell me what the worst of the worst is, have your operators, and I don't know how the operators, if they're willing to do that or not, graders, be like, from this mile, 10 miles that way is bad. And that's where we need to go hit. We've done it that way too, but that's usually after we're done spraying. They kind of give us an idea of what we need to respray to really get ahead on it. But I would really focus on your blacktops first and get your high traffic areas burned down. That'll help stop the spread. And then start focusing on gravels. It depends what your budget is on how we go about it.
We either gotta let it go the way it is, or we have to increase the budget for it, so it's.
Correct, but what's your budget total? I mean, are you gonna have a big enough budget to do the whole thing?
No.
Or are you gonna have a big enough budget to say, all right, we're gonna go after half the county this year, half the county next year with trucks, but we need to spray the whole county? spot spray.
Well, our current budget doesn't allow for hardly any more than what we're doing, right?
Right.
Yeah, for this year, that's. that-
Yeah, I'm thinking next year, so it's.
Yeah.
Even then, with the caps that the state has put on our rural basic, there's no money to go up. I mean, it is what it is unless you take from something else.
We have to prioritize if that's the case. Take it from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And how big of an issue is it really? I mean, are people really upset about it?
Yes.
And that's,
Yes.
that's,
All agree on
that's
I
the tough thing.
Anyone who spends any time outside is upset about it. The only people that aren't are the ones who just drive by it.
Right. And that's gonna be the thing is, you know, do you go to your taxpayers and do they have to pull me up for this? And I don't know the answer.
I have a lot more people that complain about high taxes than they do parsnip, I'll have to admit.
That's the way I would feel personally.
I have more people who complain about parsnip than high taxes, so,
Right.
you know, it's who you talk to.
I guess so.
But you live in the side of the county that has more of the weed problem.
Right, so that's another thing we kind of noticed too, and I think Chris can attest to this, the, east four are really bad. Or the east three, is it three? East three are really bad. Forest was the worst I've ever seen in any, we sprayed Floyd and they're terrible. That was the worst township I've ever been in for spraying. We had 4 guys go out and, within the first 20 minutes, they burned off a whole tote of chemical. Through 4-wheelers. That's an astonishing amount of spray.
That's a lot of spraying.
And that wasn't, that was killing. There was thistles and everything. It was tough around town. And I think a lot of that stems from traffic. You've got 9 and 69 going through town and around that area. You've got a lot of DNR ground, parks, things like that. It's just tough. When we got into Newton, it cleaned up pretty good, and Logan was pretty decent this year. They weren't bad. I would say those two, the south part of Newton was a little tough, but Logan was really good. When we got up there for parsnip wise. But we were really tough. Last year, Mount Valley and Center were rough. And Norway is not bad, except for right along the highway is really tough. You follow that probably 2-mile stretch all the way along the highway is full of parsnip. So, and that's where, I guess that's probably where a good amount of your people in your county or in those 2 townships, they're seeing it. Or 3 townships that are real bad, so.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't been up near like Buffalo and up there, a lot on gravels to see. We don't do a lot of spraying up there with the big machines, so I don't really see it. I don't know, maybe you guys can attest to how bad, are they as bad or not?
No, it's just flatter terrain. It's shallower wetlands, I think.
Yep.
It's just better
It's just-
ground.
It's,
over
well,
there.
it's just
It's
this,
just
yeah.
better ground.
That's
over
our-
there.
Higher value ground.
So I guess then do you say, all right, so we need to focus on the east half of the county, but really the Newton, Center, Forest, and Mount Valley with a truck. And then we spot spray the other ones.
I mean, I like the way you're thinking. That's my district, so I get a lot of complaints. I mean,
Sure.
farmers are pulling into my farmyard all the time. What are we gonna do about this?
So just so you know, all 3 of us have representation in Forest Township. Okay, we all
Yes, we
meet
do.
here.
And we don't really want to be known, that doesn't want to be our claim to fame.
Yeah.
As
Right.
the weediest spot.
You're not the weediest county I've ever been in, so
Well,
you got that going for you.
Probably in the top 10.
I won't.
How about the coordination with roadside mowing and spray?
Yeah, so mowing, in Hancock, what we've switched down there is they don't back into, it was always a thing to back into, big weed patches. mow them down, and then continue mowing along. They've completely stopped doing that, because what they were doing is they were mowing in, it was dropping all the seeds right on top of the mower, and then they'd mow along the edge and it would just shake them off and dribble it the whole way. So thistles wise, they just leave them. The worst it's gonna do is spread a little bit more in that area. So we've tried to stop doing that, mowing into thistles. It doesn't look as pretty, but it allows it to keep the pod where it's at, instead of all the way down the first 15 feet of the road, when mowers run.
Yeah, the thistles really do kind of stay in pot, more
They do a lot better.
concentrated.
Same as driving out into the ditch to get it.
Yeah, same idea. So they're tall enough, they go over.
But you're
that
saying they're
and
driving
slap.
down into the ditch to get the patches.
They'll either drive down in or they'll back down into them. Either way, however, it depends how steep it is. A lot of times
Sure.
they would back in. But it just, when they get on top of that hood of the mower, and then it just vibrates it off.
Sure.
And they weren't notoriously good at blowing their mowers off at the end of the day. So they would go the next day and scatter them again. And they've gotten better about every day they gotta clean their mowers.
So does anybody manufacture a bagger incinerator system? As you go.
You don't want to burn those things. Those are nasty when you burn them.
Sounds like we just need to go out and, cut it off with a, gee whiz, like for doing hay. I can't think of
Yeah.
the machine.
Oh,
now.
okay.
Windrow it, then go
Windrow.
out and pick it up and then haul it somewhere and burn it, yeah.
You need to pull the roots out of the parsnip with a spade.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's the
exactly.
best application.
Yeah.
And mowing does help. I mean, but the problem is you guys can't mow them enough. You gotta mow them enough to get the roots to run out of energy. And like this year, we had the perfect storm. And last year too, we had enough moisture. The fertility's there, the moisture's there. You can't mow it off enough. I don't know how many times you'd have to mow
It's
it.
like a lawn, you'd have to mow it like a lawn.
Right.
Mhm.
And it's just not you're gonna blow your budget doing that way faster than you would spraying them. I mean, you guys would have to spend weeks out there. You don't have enough equipment.
Right, Mary's running full time already.
Right.
Fortunately, I like the thought of mowing it off better than spraying it with nasty chemicals. But chemicals are much cheaper.
Right. Yep, I would agree. But diesel fuel.
No, yeah, no,
that's-
it's
that's
not
tough.
cost effective the other way. It just sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, even you say, like your blacktops, do you mow those more? But the other thing is traversing that terrain. You guys got some steep roads, some steep edges. It's just, especially in that quadrant.
It's rolling.
It's tough. It's tough to drive tractors down in ditches and.
I mean, that's why Mountain Valley is kind of the worst. Don't you think? I mean, those guys that farm down there are the first ones to say that that's, a lot of why the weeds are coming in, the grapevine,
Yeah.
it's just hard to get at
A lot
them.
of pockets of forest you can't reach out in the middle of the fields,
Yeah.
on roadsides everywhere.
Cottonwood, mulberry.
And then
Yeah.
concentration of DNR land.
Yeah,
That's
and
tough.
that
Yeah.
is the ticket. You're right.
Unfarmable land is tricky. CRP, everything.
Mhm.
Well, I really appreciate your knowledge on.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
guess, like I told Chris, I'll do what I can for you guys. If there's somebody else that's better at, a better option for you, it doesn't necessarily hurt my feelings, but I'll do the best I can for you to work within your budget to create a plan.
Yeah, I think we need a plan for sure.
Well,
Right.
first we gotta figure out where we're gonna come up with the extra money to do what needs to be done. It's obvious it needs to be done. But why is it someone else down in Des Moines can tell you what you can do to take care of your own
Mhm.
property?
I agree.
I'm a little frustrated.
Well, should we go on with other things for roads?
All right. yeah.
Welcome back. Scott.
Thank you.
Scott Miners. Engineer will discuss secondary road matters.
So, I got back to work on Thursday last week and still catching up from my time off, but I got a few updates to share with you. Some of them are not updated even since last week, but, we have road striping in progress. Our own crews are doing the maintenance painting this year, so they're restriping faded lines. they're working on that right now, should be done pretty soon, next few days. And, the new painting for all the roads that lost their stripes due to construction or maintenance, those are contracted out, so at this point, we're thinking we'll wait until all the work is done before we call them in, because they have to pay a mobilization fee every time they come. And we have them all signed, no center lines, so I would rather not pay the multiple mobilization costs.
Refresh my memory on when the last projects will be done then.
Right, so we have the microsurfacing on A38 from Leland to the church. That's supposed to be late July. It's moved a couple times. So that could be any time. And then Denko's doing a sealer on the south part of Mill Road. And they're looking at the end of August, so that's quite a ways off yet. So our thought was wait. If you guys felt strongly the other way, we could call them in and do. Right now, we have R15 830 up there off the 5 mile curve in north. We have Rice Lake paving half-mile there.
You've got signs up and
Yeah.
you know
So,
how fast it'll be August before, I mean,
Right.
it's gonna be here before we know it.
right, so at this point, we're waiting unless you feel strongly the other way.
No,
I mean, none of the traffic count even require them to be striped at all, so we feel like it's okay.
I think that's fine.
Okay. One thing I was gonna mention is, before I left for a while, we had been trying to work back and forth between Higher Spear about our, insurance for our equipment, just trying to right size it, making sure everything is, covered in the appropriate amount. And I think we're gonna make some pretty significant adjustments. I can't say for sure if it's gonna lower our premiums, but, you know, we've seen some big losses from other counties in recent years, and you know, we don't want to be underinsured either. If we, you know, lose a whole facility to a fire and we lose 3 graders and 2 trucks and some pickups and a whole facility, you know, you don't want everything to be covered actual cash value and get the depreciated amount and not be able to afford to replace it all. So we're gonna work through that unit by unit with our agent and try to get it right sized for us. I think what that's gonna look like is our everyday full-time primary fleet's gonna be covered at replacement cost. And then everything else is gonna be close to actual cash value. The secondary machines and the
So do you-
loaders and excavators, construction equipment that we don't need to have, you know, $400,000 coverage on a $100,000 excavator. You know, if that goes up, we're not gonna buy new anyway, most likely.
It'll be replacement cost, but more of the used replacement.
Right, like a reasonable replacement that we could, you know, get in to economically. Just like the same discussion we have if we replace loaders or some of these other things, we look at used if it makes sense. If it's a lower hour demand machine, we bought some used loaders. We buy a used loader for 80,000, we're immediately covering it for 130. That doesn't make sense. So we're gonna fix some things like that.
So you felt like you were underinsured or inappropriately insured
I
before?
feel like we were overinsured, but that's just looking at it from a blanket. I can't say for sure until we dig into the fine details of it, what the ultimate premium is gonna look like in the end after we play with the numbers.
It's like when you insure a new grader, it's insured at the brand new price in a sense. So as the years go, do they adjust that every year on the new policy, or does it stay?
I think the equipment they don't, but so you have some machines that have their purchase price listed and they have depreciated to about half value. But on the other hand, if your full facility goes up in smoke, you know, you're gonna wanna be able to get some new machines in there. And not all used. Let's say just by chance we happen to have all 5, 6, 7,000 hour machines in there. Be hard to go find that good a machine somewhere else with those same hours. I mean, we know we can take good care of them, you know about the history of them. and we're gonna need something quick and don't need to go search the used market for a long time to find the right fitting machine. I mean, a grader with a snowplow on it that's new is something you can get pretty readily. Let's see,
You have sprinklers in your new building?
we don't.
Well, it's good you're looking at that insurance, and then will you, once you figure out what you want, will you bid it out? Or what?
No.
No.
We're
Cause
working.
it's with ICAP.
Oh, it's ICAP, right?
What we'll do with our agent is we'll run a scenario that we feel is right. We'll have ICAP kind of run the background numbers on it and see where it ends up, and then see if that's affordable and makes sense.
Hmm.
The main reason this came up is because they appraised all of our equipment here a couple of years ago, 1 year ago or a couple. And then for everything in the replacement cost category, they put the new value on there. So that's partly to explain why our premiums went up so much recently.
Mhm.
I don't really remember getting notice about that. A discussion about that.
And it's good to check. I hear a few years ago, from my old 1992 Peterbilt, I only had it insured for 15,000, but because of the engine in it and all that, the value of it went up. But I checked a different insurance company, and I got 3 times the insurance for 1/3 the price.
Hmm.
It's good to check. I mean, I just couldn't believe that there's that much of a difference.
Yeah. I mean, I learned too that every insurance company runs risk a little different.
Yeah, they
So
sure do.
you ask all the questions.
And equipment's not depreciating like it used to, you know,
Through the life of a machine, it depreciates quickly at times and levels off at times. And that's something to consider as well.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what kind of loss can we afford to cover?
Mhm.
If we have enough reserves, we can stand to have a little bit higher risk. And so that's why I think we can afford to have closer to actual cash value on machines outside of our primary, snowplow fleet.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
So I got a meeting with Tom Heyer this week. We'll be starting to go over that stuff.
What else do I want to say?
A while ago, it's been a while ago, we've mentioned this, but through our whole transaction with our new shop and selling off our old farm, one of the things that we've been looking for is a place to kind of burn trees and have some stockpiles kind of off the beaten path. And we talked about this piece of property that Troy Fleener owns west of Thompson, and we're still interested in that piece and
It's kind of central.
would like to continue investigating that pretty seriously unless you guys have objections.
Would that still be, I don't know what's out there, is it full of concrete?
He's crushing was crushing.
Oh.
That's. We have interest in that
Mhm.
also.
It's just as a place to stockpile, or
Sunnyside, we used to when we trim trees on blacktops and gravel roads and stuff.
we can haul it all there and burn it.
Yeah, just not too nice to look at, and otherwise would be on the curve in Thompson or something like that where it's really visible and
How many acres is it?
yeah,
How
2.5. So it's not a very big piece. It's in the right spot.
It's on a hill, isn't it?
A little bit of a hill. Of course, it has the nice big white driveway we approved years
Yeah,
ago.
Yeah, there you go.
That had nothing to do with it. So I guess we're just kind of looking for your nod to proceed with some informal negotiations on that if it presents itself.
I think I indicated before that I was interested
Yeah.
in having something like that.
Okay,
It's a good
Oh.
spot too.
How many acres did you say it was?
2.5.
2.5.
Okay, we'll kind of proceed with that. the best we can. It's kind of,
Who knows?
right.
There's a building on it still, isn't there, but it's not worth anything.
No, it's
Yeah,
not,
it's got the,
it's
it's
not
all
there.
done.
It's not
It
there
had the
anymore.
roof blown off it the last time I was
Oh,
there.
okay.
So it's just a piece of land
With
in the right
piles.
spot.
Probably better without the building because people would go out there and utilize the building somehow.
Okay, and then the last thing is wondering if you wanna have any other discussions about the survey we have in progress up in Norman. I talked with Isaiah, the surveyor for HRS yesterday. In some detail about it, and of course, as you know, they got the pins marked on the north side of the subdivision as it relates to Benny's ground up there, and that's the part I wanted to get done first, just to make sure that we kind of knew where the line was. So then he's got me this map, which shows all the little pieces that we need to decide about. And these are pieces of right-of-way that are not used for roads. And there's one piece that has the description of the two properties on both sides don't cover it. So we have a strip of land that's really never been bought and sold. It's kind of a no man's land piece that doesn't have an owner. And so
that looks a little different. That one, the piece up there only was one colored before, but
right,
the
so
north one, so
hard to
something
see on
changed.
here, but you know, the landowner here that has the house,
Mhm.
they got these two lots, they got this lot, and they have these lots.
Okay,
So that's,
So,
they would be the adjacent.
Hypothetically, if you were to vacate the right of way to the adjacent owner, then you would split it in half wherever you have owners that are different on both sides of the road. Now, these lots that are owned by the same owner here, they would get both sides. So same thing here, you just break it into the pieces so that the abutting owner gets their half of the right of way. And then this one down here is maybe a different answer, and I don't know what that is without getting some legal advice on it, which is hard to get in a timely manner. And I'm planted some seeds to try to get some more advice on that, but to me, it seems like it would be somehow the county declaring it right of way and ours and vacating it similar to the rest, or somehow through a paper trail, making it part of Larry's, which seems most appropriately belonging to that parcel.
Yep.
Or somehow taking ownership as the county and selling it.
Then you have to put it up for bids, right?
Yep.
Right, so we gotta work through all those things because we really want the appropriate person to own it and for parcels not to be split in half by.
yeah.
Steve Backey worked with us for like no man's land down by the pool and was able to.
Well, wasn't that it? It was railroad land at the time. I don't know if this was railroad land at one time.
This wasn't.
Okay.
The railroad runs.
But
this-
that was-
But there was a piece that wasn't anything.
It was supposed to be a sewer project or something. Is that what it was? Or is that
Yeah.
what affected
Yeah,
it?
but it didn't belong to anyone. So,
That's what I also remember. Is it
Yeah.
Just it was,
and Steve Backey worked with us on that one, so maybe he would know the answer fairly quickly.
Sure. I mean, this one we know that this has been bought and sold as a unit back in the 1800s several times. And then once they took the subdivision, and then this piece was sold, and then this piece just never described. Ever since then, it's never been described. So either, you know, at certain points of history, they assume that the lines just came together, but if you read the description, it's very clear that they don't.
Well, if we end up, vacating that north part, I would like to utilize some negotiations there to get our proper right of way through there.
Yeah,
East and
you're
west.
talking about east and west, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other complicated part is You know, we have right of way for this road that doesn't go through there straight, and then it goes through this piece with no actual purchased right of way over the years. We maybe could say that there's easement by prescription, but nothing, no document that would support that at this point. But it would be nice to have that formalized, and, you know, they could draw us the pieces and say, here's what right of way would be, and then you could acquire the easements from this owner and this owner and have more formal right of way through there. You know,
It's
we
just the same owner.
I mean, you'd probably want a sliver from Benny.
The majority of it's from there.
Yeah. And, you know, we've been maintaining the road for forever, so it seems like it's hard to make a case that we'll just back out of maintenance on that road.
But
So,
if
yeah,
we are gonna give up some ownership there, I would like to get something back out of it.
right. So sort of that's where it complicates
It's
itself
the-
with the matter you're dealing with the sort of nuisance issue and how you wanna overlap these timelines.
Mm-hmm.
So to vacate property takes a simple public hearing and then a filing of the vacation proceedings. You file and then that's kind of like a deed.
Because we don't have to vacate it.
We don't have to, but if you're going to do proceedings, you probably want to do it all together. Otherwise, you have to publish and have two timelines. It's not that it costs that much to publish notice, but it'll take me some time to write it all up.
And I
if have
mean,
to do it twice.
And if we're having somebody else, like Steve, look at it other than Kelsey, you know, if it could all be done at one time.
Unless Kelsey knows what Steve did.
She might.
She was a part of it.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
I can circle back with Kelsey about this project again.
I mean, there's a lot of details on there.
Yeah,
It's
and-
not just a simple.
That whole situation up there is just as clear as mud.
Well, I don't know if
There's
you,
lots of mud
any of
up
you
there.
have been past it lately, but there basically are no trees left. And it almost looks like that wet area is being dug for a pond. I mean, it looks bigger, it looks something. Unless it really is just
There
that
was
much
a lot of
water.
water sitting there last week.
Did you see all the trees down?
Yeah.
We didn't see any.
Maybe no
It
digging. It
didn't
just
look
looks,
like any digging in that pond.
okay,
I walked the L shape, I guess,
you did,
last week just.
okay.
Why is there water there? Did they have that much more rain than?
It comes from the ditch and then cuts across to the northwest and then goes that north. There's a tile in there.
Wonder if he crushed a tile or something. It's
It's
not
still
draining.
running. Yeah, there's like a catch basin type thing in there. It's just flowing in and flowing out, so.
Okay. It's just that we've had enough rain, but,
Yeah,
and we couldn't see it before because of the,
I'm not sure if there's
trees.
a tile outlet that outlets into the ditch somewhere on Apple, and that's where the water's coming from.
The elevations go northwest, so.
that was a lot of the
Elevation goes
concerns of the neighbors of any tanks or, you know, that water pooled there and then moved, you know, any of those plastic
if you look-
tanks.
If you look back to 2016, I think is the latest on Beacon. I mean, you can tell there's been a pond in there forever.
Okay.
It's just,
Just hoping it wasn't something like we had south of the Christensen Farms there, had to get the sanitarian involved where guy had a wet spot in his field all the time, and that's because they had their septic system had failed. They were pumping it, and it was continuously pumping down into his field and into the low area.
sure.
And he couldn't farm that for a couple of years. It's finally figured out why it was wet all the time.
Yeah.
Seems
I
like
don't
a
know
lot
if
of
that's
work.
what's going on. I mean, the pond has been there. It's not like
Yeah.
it's been created, I guess.
I think the concern from some of the neighbors, at least some of the texts and calls that I get, is because there's old chemical cubes and, you know, in that area, was that also some getting into there and then into the water system? And, you know, I mean, I don't know. There's just a lot of concern there.
Speculation.
Speculation, exactly.
All right, well, do more investigation, let's see.
I can check with Steve, to see if he's interested in guiding us on the rest of this. But you feel like we should use the opportunity to establish right away for the rest of the road?
I think we'd like to have a,
Okay, so
Definitely.
I think that vacation's probably inevitable, but I'd rather utilize our opportunity. Not having to vacate it and emphasize to them that we'd like to have that right away.
yeah.
For
Maybe
that
a bit of a splitting hairs here, but I think Broadway is like 40. It might be 80 feet wide right of way. I don't know if we need 80 feet going through the rest of there. Or if we just make it 66 like a normal one. I'll play with that. But I think I'll proceed as if we're gonna try and set this up for vacations, but not set the hearing or anything.
That distance for Broadway would be about 2 blocks or,
From here to here.
Mhm.
or from Apple to,
Here
Or
to
the
here.
whole thing.
It's not very long. This might be 150 feet.
okay, so it's over a block then.
You can make it whole thing.
Okay, I think I know where to go on that. The surveyor's interested in trying
It's
to
a nice try.
tie up loose ends on this if we can, so I'll try to keep it moving, but, or at least get it to a point where we can file a survey and then proceed with anything.
So Broadway's not a farm to market road.
No. Yeah, there's probably plenty of business out there in the 1880s.
I think it just carries a lot of ball numbers.
Anything else?
Sooner the better. People are getting pretty anxious up there.
Okay, I don't know if this satisfies any of their concerns.
Well, we need to know what we're doing there before we can move forward.
Fair enough. Okay,
Thank you. You're on the next one, too.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the information.
let me keep one right now so I can go through the details.
Consider for approval, equipment purchase for secondary road department. Yeah, have a good day.
Yeah, thanks.
This item is to replace a motor grader. The unit leaving the fleet is the 1996 140 with a trade price of $60,200. The purchased unit is a 2026 Cat 140 all-wheel drive. Purchase price of $453,318.64 for a net transaction of $393,118.64. This purchase also moves a machine with about a little over 11,000 hours out of our primary full year-round fleet. We'll have all of our first 7 that run winter and summer under 10,000 hours at this point. All of our winter and standby machines are over 10,000 and several of them are over 12,000 hours. We haven't bought a machine since 2024, and I feel like this price related to that one, as we've gone through inflation, looks pretty good. So I recommend approval of the purchase. Any questions?
Is it available?
Yeah, they have one left.
Just about 170 some horse, or
50.
I was going down the interstate and met, there was a Cat 24 with all the wheels
Oh,
off of
good.
it, heading north on a truck.
Right to the mine.
550 some horse. 24-foot blade, of course.
Bless you, trying
Thank you.
Going up to some mines somewhere.
Yeah,
That's
they
big.
got power coming out of these things now, it's unbelievable compared to just.
Well, I think when I looked up the specs on it, it varies in horsepower depending on what speed you're going and requiring it's a scale kind of. It doesn't utilize all the horsepower when you're at light load, but it can produce it at some point with the computers.
Yeah, that's like the 140s, 150s, and I think the 160s are all same frame, chassis, engine. It's just the engines are unlocked to a higher horsepower.
Doesn't really detail that out in the quote.
Yeah, I kind of looked it up and it seemed like used ones, they list it and go as high as 170 something or something. Well, I kind of feel like these are some of the machines that, they only evaluate to a certain point until something goes wrong and they lose some of the value. But
So these don't, you don't have to order something like this ahead of time. I
They've
mean,
gotten better over the years on getting them. I feel like COVID really threw a.
Well, yeah,
can't get
that,
it
that
yet.
put restrictions on all kinds of stuff coming into this country from everywhere else and all that. I mean,
We
it's
were waiting forever for some,
quite
tractor
possibly
from
one of the stupidest things that ever
Germany.
happened.
Yeah.
and it's still not here. So I mean,
Well,
takes a
I've been
while.
waiting for, I think back then it was like 10 months.
Mhm.
That's when we were ordering like way early before July, and then this year they had 8 or 9 of them
so that's
ordered.
important.
So, but of course, as of July 1st, everyone's budgets renewed, so they've been disappearing quick again.
In general, these have a lot more standard package than a custom built snowplow truck would have. So specify a few details. I think they're pretty similar from
Drainage
our
is
county to
over.
others.
no, I think you explained it, how it worked out in your budget and
Right.
you had a little extra left over if you needed to buy something else.
Right, yep, so we had planned for 400,000 in the budget, and this is 393, so it's a little bit under that. And, this year's budget, we'd also included all the plow equipment for that plow truck that we're building. And we were able to get some of the received parts paid for in last year's budget, and so we have a little room for a pickup or other unforeseen item in this year's budget also.
Yeah, I get some complaints about you guys' fancy machinery every now and then. And then you explain to them, and are you still, now I still drive 30-year-old stuff, but not everybody does.
But you don't drive it every day.
People
No,
like to
no.
Yeah, if
throw
you had
out
13,
those.
would they all be that old?
It,
Yeah.
and you tell them that they just traded in a 30-year-old machine, they're retiring a 30-year-old machine, and kind of lessens the blow to them, but some of them still don't understand.
Sure. I think for us, what it comes down to is what's the risk of major component failure in our winter and standby machines? And,
Well, there's-
in recent years, we've had rear ends, we've had transmission rebuilds and
Rebuild.
engine rebuilds, and at times 3 machines that were totally out of commission. So that's really what it boils down to is,
Well, this subject came up yesterday at the conservation meeting. And I told the guy that brought it up, I says, you know, it's just damn tough to run a business when you're working with machinery that's breaking down all the time. You just can't be efficient with your, one machine breaks down and like you guys are on a bridge project and then all of a sudden everybody's standing there because you can't do anything.
I mean, I'm not afraid of having to rebuild some transmissions over the time ranges, even if it's 20, 30, 40,000. That fits in a budget, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's still cheaper to fix the old than it is to buy new.
Yeah, as long as you don't have always two or three that are
It's
working
just,
their way.
you
through
move
that
on to the
process.
next component failing on the old and, you know, and get to the,
So what about this program that was discussed a while back where you take a grader, say, and completely have them go through it to where it's
brand new again?
Right.
with warranty?
So I talked about this a lot when we had Andrew here, who had come from a quarry, and they're doing rebuild machines that have, 15,000 hours on them that are 2 or 3 years old. And so they do the full rebuild, and they have a 3 or 4 year old machine that's like new, and you can appreciate how that makes a lot of sense. For us, why we haven't pulled the trigger on that, I think, is because the appropriate time to do the full rebuild is when it's 10, 12,000 hours. And by that time, ours are
Old.
15 to
30.
18 years old. And so you think, oh, then we got a like new machine, but it's still 18 years old. And then you're going to rotate that back down to the main fleet.
I think we haven't had a machine that we've gotten rid of that's been that desirable machine to keep. The 140s that we're getting rid of now they're not all-wheel drive, which we're switching into now. The one that we're just moving out of a full-time fleet into a standby fleet is the first joystick machine with all-wheel drive. So that would be like potentially the first one that would be a question on the list on that. It's a 2010 with close to 12,000 hours on it.
I remember buying that one.
I'd be more interested in like getting a price on that machine to get a full rebuild than a 140 that's
because it's got
96.
some of the newer technology on it and stuff.
It's good. Yeah, and it's got all-wheel drive, so I mean, it's just, you're not gonna do that on a 140 H.
Sense.
And you're always kind of balancing also what life can we get out of that machine without the full rebuild. So if that machine blew an engine tomorrow, maybe that conversation would look different, as if compared to maybe we can get 5,000 more hours out of it without a rebuild.
And we did get a price on trade on that machine, but it just wasn't high enough to make a difference.
Right, we'd have to trade 6,000-7,000 hour machines in order to get like an appreciable amount of trade value.
So how old was the one you got the $60,000 for?
96.
The 96?
How many hours, Ron?
I think it was just 12,900.
I'll make a motion to approve the equipment purchase for the secondary road department in the trade of a 1996 road grader for 2026.
I gotta make a correction. Oh yeah, that's type one there. The grader's from, it's a 2001.
2001, all right. Then I'll change my.
Right, that was
This
from a prior trade.
Shoot, we
need
thought
to
that
be
was sitting
changed
on the
then,
showroom
or-
floor.
We're gonna have another
You want me to just write
20
on there
minute discussion on
1991?
this.
We just like this stuff, that's why.
2001.
Or 2001, I mean.
I think it's fine.
All right, so I'll reformulate my motion to approve trading a 2001 Cat road grader for a 2026 road grader for secondary road department.
I'll second.
Motion Derby and a second from Smith to approve the equipment purchase for secondary road department from a 2001 Cat 140 to a 2026 Cat 140. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
So was that the oldest one then, or?
The oldest one, yep.
You want both these signed?
Mm-hmm.
These stamps.
The hours are right, the year was not.
Stamp?
No,
Yeah, it should be. I thought I heard him say this. I was thinking it shouldn't be.
25-year-old machine.
All right, we'll move on to discuss with possible action regarding cameras at the rural recycling location. We're gonna have to have you guys stationed there all the time, so when the guys are dumping in disassembled appliances and in the cat litter box bags and
Yeah, I'm surprised it hadn't happened by now, or it's probably been happening.
they've been sorting all kinds of crap out of there.
Right now.
The
yeah,
cat litter bag was in with the cardboard and they weren't gonna get, so they just,
before they leave.
that all went to garbage instead of being recycled.
Mhm.
Just in time.
Yep.
So our camera's not working well enough to catch anybody and.
Well, I mean, it hasn't obviously been checked by anybody because it has been off, or not off, but not capturing pictures since like December.
Oh my.
So
Is that
we have
right?
it working again, but it
This
hasn't been working.
last incidents that happened there, Scott.
But are we able to actually have enough resolution to see who's doing this and,
Well, not in this case.
and the angle, if they're on the alley side, you probably are being blocked.
When I've looked at it, you can't.
You
Yeah,
can see make and model, and that's,
I was just wondering if we had a solar powered one or something that was on the pole for that side.
yeah.
Then when they pull in, you have a really good view of who it is.
You know,
How much evidence do you need in a camera to be able to do something?
I would
Well,
assume,
that's your starting point,
So
then you're gonna have to
what
follow
else?
up with it.
Yeah, you're gonna prosecute it.
That's what
Yeah.
it looks like. I mean, you
Say,
can,
well, that plate might come back to Joe Blow, but that wasn't me in it. It was a vehicle.
well, usually people would know at their vehicle.
Right. But like I said, we can't just go off of that, so. And like I mentioned from the onset when this, I said,
I know.
Well, the person that threw that
Do you?
cat
Yeah.
litter in
See,
there,
Terry
you
knows
know darn
everybody's
well,
cars. He
they,
knows.
I recognize
they,
the.
they probably
black
didn't pay
peanut
the
butter
garbage
truck.
bill, so they're not getting
I don't
garbage
think he-
picked up.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and
That's Carol Carson.
so, yeah, I have an appointment with Central Lock to look at the location and see what they think. I had gotten a quote from the people that did the courthouse cameras, and I mean, it was, what, 14,000? 14,000, and that would be for a pole, solar panels, batteries, monitoring it to make sure that it's always on and working. It's got like AI on it, so it can read license plates and do all that stuff.
Oh.
But to monitor some trash can, I don't know. That makes sense.
How much extra is the monitor?
Oh, I don't know. He didn't.
Yeah,
They didn't itemize
I'm
it
just
like
wondering
that.
how much we can save by not having them. monitor.
Right. Yeah.
But we
And
can have
then-
access.
Yeah. So we'll see what Central Lock comes up with. But my thing is, I don't know if cameras are gonna solve the issue. Like you could put
Obviously, people can't.
you could put a cage around it,
Because the
and
signs are there.
somebody could still just like, well, I came all the way here, I'm just gonna dump it outside. Like, it's
Yeah.
great that it doesn't now go in the bin and they don't have to deal with it, but somebody in the
Well,
county is still gonna have to
if
deal
we
with.
can get a camera that can get where you can have facial recognition and get the license plate and all that, at least we can make life miserable for them at some point.
Yeah,
Well, we can charge them the $500 that.
Yeah, no,
And
we've
but
got
how
a
many
fine
people
for
are you
it.
gonna have to charge $500 to pay for the?
a lot, yeah. Yeah.
So
So-
on the enforcement end of it, I'll just refresh my memory. Let's backtrack. We find somebody in violation. Is this a county ordinance number
Yes.
such and such that we write them under?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you know that ordinance number off the top of your head, Charlotte?
No, I don't.
We just developed it this year.
Kelsey
Yeah,
will-
it's,
yeah.
it's pretty new.
Okay, yeah.
So
I'd like to.
ordinances are on the website.
Yeah. I'd like to read the verbiage on it, but.
There's signage up there as well.
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna ultimately resolve this, but, you know, we start with the nasty
We had-
Facebook post and, you know, and we repost it. We get a lot of mileage out of our Facebook. So if we can at least start there and say, okay, people are abusing it, don't do that, but understand we're stepping up our efforts here because of this, so violators will be charged. So,
Do we have any wiggle room in our recycling budget at all for this?
I can look.
Seems like there was a little, but I don't know, it was 14,000.
What was it, 14,000 for?
That camera,
The
you're talking
camera.
about with the recognition. The ones
Can't
like
we
they
just
put
get
in the
one that we
out
can look
here.
at ourselves that can recognize everything?
I mean, this would connect to our camera system. It just,
Yeah.
I'm just saying it says
To our current system out.
3-year license for gridless equipment to be monitored. So I think they're more monitoring like the solar panels and the batteries to make sure that stuff stays up and running.
So there's gonna be maintenance costs down the road when the solar panels or the batteries.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. But
I guess it wouldn't hurt to check into it, see if maybe they have another option, you know?
well, he said to just put a camera up like we have now, but like a higher quality one,
Mm-hmm.
and use I think we had talked about using the library's internet at one point.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like 3,000.
How would we negotiate that with the library, do you think? Or would we piggyback and have
Well-
our own Wi-Fi in there?
There's also
Seems
a
like-
possibility.
Can we use Wi-Fi from the shop?
We could possibly send it over there,
Yeah.
but
do
then,
that
I mean,
on
you're
farms
just
all
running
the time.
into, huh?
They do that on
Oh,
farms
yeah.
all the time.
I mean, it's definitely possible, but I mean, the chance it could go out and then doesn't capture the one person. I mean, it's a fat chance, but it's possible. So it just depends how reliable you want it to be. If you need 100%
Does it have
reliability, then it's probably not the best option.
Then you gotta go with the closer Wi-Fi is what you're saying?
Or run it off a hardwire somewhere. Yeah.
Well,
Or
if
cellular.
I remember right, we give a little money to the libraries, you think that they wouldn't fight it too hard.
our town patrol cameras that we have, they're all, everybody just hosts them for us. Just in an agreement, so
Who does?
just wherever we have them located, you know, they allow
All the
us.
cities.
Yeah,
What about the one that's on the former Heartland Power building? That's
he's agreed to
transferred.
allow us to continue with that. So. Yep, so that's just kind of their in-kind contribution, so to speak. They allow us to feed off their Wi-Fi, so
Oh, that'd be
I would imagine the library would be,
that would be a negotiating tool, you know. State
would be more than
everybody else does.
agreeable to do that, so.
It would also kind of protect the back of their building. All right, well.
I mean, my other thought just is that, I mean, once people know there's a camera, what's gonna stop them from parking a block away and just carrying it over? So,
That's why if you could get facial recognition
Well-
on it.
yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's gonna connect to like,
So I mean, they were dumping in that other lot across the road. there's a bed mattress and stuff over there, but
At the apartments, that dumpster over there.
no, like, what was it? Not the old dentist office, the one next to it.
The lawyer's office.
Old lawyer's office there.
Oh, really?
In front of
Show
that,
hands.
and then they put a big sign up that said not a dumping.
Oh,
Did that help?
Uh,
Hmm.
I think the sign's good.
I was gonna say, our sign hasn't worked real well, so.
So we were talking about it, what, earlier this week, and the other thing, Northwood apparently does this. They have theirs,
They
like
have
a recycling,
I don't know what Northwood does, but Worth County
Or
has a
Worth County,
recycling
that's what I meant.
facility.
yeah.
Mhm.
it's a major facility.
Oh, they have.
They
a
sort
facility.
and everything.
They've
there.
got, what, is it one or two full-time employees?
One, I think,
It's
but you
through
drive through
conservation.
it.
But the point was, I think they have it locked and staffed, and,
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, I just think you're gonna run into issues no matter what.
We're talking a couple $100,000 there.
Okay.
And technically, we should be able to partner with them if we wanted our recycling to go there.
And you're gonna tell the people from Buffalo Center they have to, or north of Buffalo, that they have to drive all the way over
Well,
to
I-
Kensett?
How am I guessing I'm not gonna?
But I
recycle?
mean, legally and technically, all we have to do is provide a
Or
place for
we
it.
could do like some counties and just ignore what the state says and see if they come after us.
There's a neighboring county that, just said, so far they've gotten away with it.
We were talking, when we were talking about this, that like Waste Management will do like a chemical drop off day or once a year or whatever out there. If they had ever put like a roll off out front and then the county just pay as it gets filled.
Well, the city of Thompson does that once a year. It was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think somewhere towards the end of June. And they had, what, 6 roll-offs they had to use just for the city?
Whoa.
I mean, if it was
At
just,
least.
And I think half of it came from one house.
Whoa,
It's probably the best thing Thompson's ever done. I've told the city fathers that quite often. I said, that stuff used to have junk days. People put it on the curb. Well, people didn't scab it up. It just
Now,
found its way somewhere.
Buffalo Center does the same thing, but you put a couch out there, it's gonna cost you $20.
Yeah.
You put a TV out there, it's gonna cost you $20.
we could.
But you can get rid of whatever
definitely-
you wanted, but
Yeah.
but they just bill it to you through your water bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could
But
definitely revisit the waste systems thing because waste management, because that's where I always used to take all my recycling.
yeah, I mean, if you just had a roll off that's sitting
It
in
was
there.
You
And
drive
that was
in.
the only recycling thing. It's gated. You can only drop it off during their work hours. You're not gonna get,
Cat litter.
I wouldn't think so, cause
They've got cameras.
they're taking
there
it into a facility.
too.
Well,
And you just.
The people that are putting cat litter in there ain't driving that far anyway.
Yeah.
So,
They'll put it in our roadside dishes.
yeah, no, then they'll just start. We used to have garbage all the time, and I haven't noticed it a lot lately, but there's garbage bags going north out of Buffalo Center on Main Street there. There used to be garbage bags in the ditch all the time. Just drive out there.
So the separate thing you're talking about is like for paint. It's like a separate receptacle or something.
They just open it up for chemical days, or they'll have a dumpster up there.
But
I
they'll
was
have a
just saying-
person there.
Well, there's always a person in the building that's at
Yeah.
waste management.
And I don't
Anyway,
think
and
they're
there's
dropping off
cameras.
mattresses and cat litter during the day. At the uptown shop, it's all nighttime
Nighttime
activity.
stuff.
Well, if it was at, if our recycling bin was at waste management.
Their
then
gate
you
is
had to go-
closed.
Yeah, their gate's closed.
It'd be worth a conversation with waste management. And that, but they'd have to bill us by how
Depends
much
on
comes into there.
Right.
Somehow I don't think it's gonna be by the ton.
That's exactly. And somehow I'm guessing it's gonna
They're
be
gonna
even
get it
more
back.
expensive than what we're doing now.
And how, we never saw documents before, so why would we ever see documentation in the future? Right?
But it might be worth a conversation, what it would cost us to do that.
management there's changed several times since Dustin had recycling too, so.
I don't think we've ever talked to the same person twice.
Well, and
Yeah,
it's usually not there, we're talking to somebody, it's some office somewhere else we're talking to.
Yeah, and then the guy comes and tells you that they're taking recycling to a facility in the Twin Cities that has been closed for a year and a half.
Well, nobody told him.
Yeah, well, maybe that was it.
Just to backtrack into the core of your whole thing here. I don't know who the person is that's monitoring your recycling there that's telling you.
When there's,
about-
it's usually Scott Levin and
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh,
What's his name?
Chris.
Chris
Lamont.
Lamont. Scott Levin
Yeah.
used to do stuff like that. Anyway, he'll go back. He wanted to go back and look and see who threw
Mhm.
in the cat litter or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just didn't come up. I mean, that's the only monitoring we're really doing is when they discover an incident, then they want to go
Oh.
back to the date and figure out who threw it in.
Backtrack to 2 weeks or 1
Yeah,
week or
yeah.
whatever.
So, well, you know, I'm not trying to be a stickler here, but like I told you from day one, my guys have got plenty enough to do that if we get a legitimate complaint, we'll follow through, but we're not gonna be the ones monitoring. We can kind
Oh,
of
no, you don't need to
control the
monitor.
area.
He'll be
Yeah.
monitoring it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
because they know when it happens.
You know,
Because the rest of us, we're not standing there watching what's going in there all the time. And
Yeah.
as soon as they get there, see what's in there, then they want to go back and find
Yeah.
when,
And there again, I'm just gonna put this in the priority scheme of things that, my guys don't have time to be deciphering.
we never,
Deciphering
all-
back for 2 weeks worth of video
yeah.
to dissect it. to
No,
find-
it would be Carla and
It would be
Chris,
us
okay.
saying, this is the guy,
Yeah.
go,
We'll
Second.
find it, and then the
Yep.
only thing you guys
Okay.
got to do is
Hey,
give
like I said,
the
I'm not trying to
give
kick
them
that
the
can
fine.
or anything or
and
something.
probably go before us too to see if we want to pursue
Yeah.
it or not.
So, like I want to read the ordinance and, we can follow through with Kelsey and
The one thing
Make
I
sure we're on the
noticed
same
on,
page.
on another note on the recycling is tags on the recycling. I don't think it talks about plastic. It talks about glass cans. Nowhere it says plastic containers.
does the plastic and the glass and the cans all go in the same one?
It
now?
does, but it doesn't say that there. We've had a lot of questions on this, and maybe he needs to come.
Plastic is the one that there is the least demand for as far as recycling goes.
Well,
as
I
far
know,
as getting
but
rid of the
we
product.
still
It's
need
part of
to
our,
sign
it's
them.
part of our
But it
acceptance.
should still be on there.
Yeah, but he doesn't have it on.
Really doesn't
Some-
say
somebody-
plastic. Huh?
I've had several people ask me this, and it doesn't have a tag on it that says anything about plastic. It has cardboard, it has paper, it has one bin or the 2 bins, and then there's cans of glass containers in the other. Doesn't say anything about plastic, so we should probably address that. See, just a sticker or something. I think
Yeah.
part of the problem is the material the lids are made out of, the lightweight lids. They don't hold a sticker very well.
Mm,
They're kind of they're real, kind of rough.
yeah, I can understand why plastic would be on there. It's just one of them.
It says it on our sign, but it doesn't say
On the container itself.
on our pole. So just beware of that. Well, we'll wait to see what you can come up with too.
Okay. It'll be, I'm on vacation next week. I think the next week is the week we're looking at it, so it would be that.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then we'll move on to discuss with possible action regarding monitor for entryway of courthouse.
I know nothing about that.
Is this the
so
one I
if
think that
you-
the
If you could
monitor,
just wait until Carla comes back and then you
Okay.
can
this
discuss
is the
that.
one where we're gonna display our meetings notices.
Meeting notices that are
The
required
new,
to
the new
be.
legal requirement.
Carla wanted me to edit that. so
The
I changed-
unfunded mandate,
now
So
we're
if
gonna
you wanna
get
do 10 and, or 11 and 12, I guess.
All right, we'll, move on to or consider for approval county claims.
Oh, that's,
I'll make a motion to approve the county claims. Look through it.
I will second.
Motion Derby and second Smith to approve the county claims. All in favor, say aye.
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 Have you seen it?
Oops. I did it on the most open page.
Did you want one of these, Scott, or we go to?
Take them both, get Carl's
Put on that.
signature and, perfect.
Yeah, the road department didn't have it.
All right, consider for approval payroll claims.
We had a suggestion that, at a meeting the other day, that said we should take that money that we've been using for recycling and use it for spraying roadsides. Weren't they saying that at the meeting yesterday? Like,
Not
oh.
very much money.
Oh,
Could be another pass maybe in the fall. Well, our budget this year was 35,000. So if you add 24 to it,
so when somebody puts something in there that shouldn't be in there, does it just have to go to the landfill anyway? I mean, you can't sort
You mean the
kitty
cat
litter
litter?
out of a,
No, that whole load of cardboard or whatever went to the garbage.
yeah.
Send that as text message. I'm guessing he doesn't have anybody working for him that wanted to go through it.
That's dated.
Thank you.
No one should have to.
we should, while we're going through this, we could go back since Carla's here.
All right, go back. Discussion with possible action regarding monitor.
Brody was supposed to talk about that when he was here.
No, we didn't get
No,
to it,
let him go.
and he dodged us.
I forgot to talk about
What is it?
Oh, so he's gotta come back anyway.
Let me call him. Hey, can you come back and talk about the monitor for the courthouse?
And get his coffee cup.
And then you forgot your coffee cup. Yeah, okay, bye. The other one's the IDD, or the Ida County thing, and I've sent you all the stuff on that, so we just need to discuss if that's something you wanna look into, or?
Yeah, it didn't affect us as much as it does Ida County, but it may in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. I'm back.
Talk about the monitor.
It's just put put something in that window over there that you can actually see, it has to be a high brightness display. So if we don't wanna put paper up and we wanna put something electronic, we need to put a pretty expensive monitor in there so it doesn't get fried by the sun and people can actually read it. So, I mean, I think 1200 would be.
And that's what,
So this is the best
32.
It's like,
location you
no, it's like
determined?
a 27.
That's what we decided in your resolution, was that window out there.
That window?
Mhm.
because that's entry level.
Because it's
You can walk up
handicapped
to it.
accessible and all of that, got it.
I built like a proof of concept, I guess, showed Carla, and we couldn't read the screen in that window, so. I have the computer ready, I have everything ready, you just need a fairly.
So every
expensive
department would be able to send their meetings to that and it would automatically be there. And who has to monitor it? Is it
screen.
you?
Yep.
I think it's a great idea, don't you?
Mhm.
And what was it, Terry? You said the state
I mean-
provided funding for that monitor?
Sort of, we're just gonna have to send
So I
it,
was gonna say
I'll have to do it for now,
Ultimately, what are we putting on there, Roby?
agendas.
Any agendas, anything that has to be
Meeting
posted.
notices.
The state has said it has to be
You have to be able to see it 24/7.
24/7.
How about our?
So on our
job
things out here,
postings?
it's
Would
locked.
they be
building.
Notice of like we have an opening,
If you want them to, it's up to you.
if it's scrolling, it would be there too, but
Mhm.
The other thought I had is, you know how like some of those real estate places have those like lit up panels? You could put like 5 of those on and then you could just slip the paper in and it's backlit so that you can read it in the dark. I don't know if that's better or worse, but
So whoever was,
but then like county conservation, are they gonna utilize this?
That's the plan, is
And
public
assuming
health.
people send it to me, I can put it on.
Yeah, no, I was gonna
but,
say,
yeah.
it'll even be easier, cause they don't have to bring a piece of paper up.
I think it'd be easier for them to, I think it would more likely get done if they just have to email it to me rather than trying to show them how to do it. I mean, cause they could, but
So it'd be, anybody who has meetings, so public health, conservation, Winworth Betco, veterans, supervisors.
supervisor, any special meetings.
How about,
Yep.
notice of closure for like, say, treasurer's office for training, would
Yep.
that be in there?
Anything that,
It'll just be a rotating screen from,
yeah, I mean, that's the bad part is it's just gonna show one at a time.
yeah, so you'll have to stand there for a while to get to the one you might want, so
Yeah.
it's.
And it'll
But-
only be there for 6
But,
seconds, so
but
you better
we're,
take a
we're
picture.
satisfying
Yeah.
the requirement.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you did say they were paying for the monitor, right?
State was paying for the monitor.
I mean, that does bring up a good question. If it's only scrolling through every 6 seconds, is that technically 24/7? I don't know the answer to that.
and no, the state's not paying for the monitor.
Oh, so it's an
I mean,
unfunded
you
mandate.
could,
Oh.
but then, I mean,
Oh, I would have just assumed.
Mhm.
Is there any way, you know how like the privacy screens, the black covers that you put over, so you kinda gotta be looking straight on it? Would that do it to save the screen? Can you do that through?
you
the
could, I
monitor?
just, it's not bright enough when the sun's directly on it. Like, there's
Yeah.
just too much glare, so that wouldn't fix that, I don't know.
Is there a better location that's not direct on sun?
See, you would put your your sheriff's sales, you know, all of that there too. But the 6-second thing is concerning because I'm not gonna be able to read his sheriff's sale if I'm,
You can
It's
I
adjust.
don't know that I would, it's more just, I don't know that his sheriff's sales would go on there. Unless,
So how many different screens would there be? I mean, you know, if you have to sit there and,
yeah, maybe not the sheriff's.
kind of like the channel 2 on WCTA, you know, it used to be. Now you can actually rewind it and see what it just went by, but,
I mean, if you did a big screen, you could probably just have each one have its own little section and have like up to 8 maybe, but you're not gonna fit that in that window.
you know.
And that would be a really expensive screen, so.
It'd have to be almost stacked screens.
Yeah,
multiple screens would be.
But I mean, if you had to wait 6 seconds for 10 different screens, that ain't so bad. If you gotta wait 6 seconds for 50 different screens, then
I think it would just be agendas would be the
Yeah.
primary purpose.
Very seldom you're gonna have that many screens that are.
no,
screened.
that's what I'm saying. And so it won't be that bad because it's not gonna be a lot of stuff, I would
Yeah.
think.
But if you really did
I'm-
wanna get the word out about something and the building is closed, you could, that the treasurer's office is. So that we don't have to be putting paper on the,
Well, she does it on Facebook, I think.
As I'm saying, that stuff will all still exist.
yeah.
And our
All on the
website,
website.
probably.
Mhm.
So we have those other avenues to advertise.
This is just one more little, we
Where'd
have to
you say
jump
the
through.
$1,200 was coming from again, the state?
And Carla said it wasn't.
Oh, man. I think it's a good idea. I like the idea of having the, I mean, if we have to do it, it's better than sticking papers in the window somewhere. I mean, that's the cheap way of doing it, just have clear folders down the window and each person has to put
Well,
theirs.
that's what we've been doing, is just taping it to the window at this point, but
So if it's not gonna work out, we start with this. If it's too much on there that they're not getting, we could add a screen, you know, I mean,
Sure.
different purposes.
They pay for the second one.
I'm sure there's a cost to get a program there.
So, what are we doing? Are you just gonna put up clear folders and let people drop their agendas in it, or
that's
what?
your call.
I mean, is that what, I'm asking different departments, because you're gonna have things that you're gonna have notices on, right?
I mean,
Are you
How do
talking
you
like a pegboard, similar to like what we had here?
no, like a computer monitor is what
But
we're
it
talking
serves the
about.
same
okay.
purpose
I
though.
mean, you were talking
Yeah.
about something
But
different.
I was saying, if we don't wanna spend the $1,200, you go and get clear file folders, hang them in the window on cup hooks, and then you have to put our,
Take one out,
Agenda
put the
in
other one
there.
in.
I mean, the other alternative was, I
What'd
mean,
you say about the-
essentially leaving that vestibule open on the outside door. And then you could use any screen, cause it would just be on the wall.
But you're not blocking it off going downstairs.
Right.
Oh, no, that is a separate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like its
there's-
own little, but
Yeah, but
I
that
think
opens
Carla
it up.
didn't wanna deal with people potentially abusing that.
But,
But I know like the YMCA has that.
Then it might end up
Open up the
smelling like
outlet,
the
close the
skywalk in Des Moines.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you just put up a crappy screen and just see who even looks at it?
yes, we can do that.
And just,
Yeah, start
If
at a
anybody's-
lower
that's why
level.
we
I mean, I can,
like it
I
when you
can put
stick
up what I
around.
have, I just.
You know
Yeah.
what?
tested it
No.
and it
Let's
was
do
not
that.
I'm
very
guessing-
fulfilling.
I'm guessing a lot of
can just
people aren't
put it
gonna be
on,
looking
right?
at that anyway.
Yes, that's an option.
I guarantee
I like
you, I'm
that
not
idea.
driving to the
Good job,
courthouse to
Ethan.
see what's
Take an
happening.
old phone, put it up there.
Hmm.
Now, if you have a screen, let's just do that.
I'll just put up what I have then.
See how long it lasts, see if anybody looks at it, see if anybody comments about it.
It's gonna be so minimal.
See, Ethan, this is why we keep you around at these meetings.
Nice job.
Good thought.
I mean, it is frustrating for me though, cause now people are gonna send me these and I have to put it up and we already know nobody's gonna look at it, so why am I spending the time?
I'm sure the
Doing
state
all
is
this.
gonna take care of part of your
You made
salary.
it so that you, like a folder of.
That's what
When I say that out
I
loud.
just
So
drop
you
it
just need a
in.
JPEG of it.
I have to turn the
Like a shared
PDF
folder.
into a photo and then I drop it in and that's it, so it takes like
So the
3 minutes.
requirement on the folder that's shared, that only you can put JPEGs in there and anybody can.
I mean, eventually, you could require that each
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Melissa would have to send it to that. But I can see where you think it'd be just almost easier to let them.
They already have to now drop it in a shared folder that goes on the website, so I can take them from there.
So we're partway there.
Okay,
Sounds like a plan.
I like
Alright.
that.
sounds good.
It'll really look like we're really up with time, won't it? With this thing there.
We're pretty fancy.
We're fancy. I'm gonna make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I'll second it.
Motion for Dirk.
Celia,
Yep,
Thank
every
you.
day. Motion from Smith and second from Derby to approve payroll claims. All in favor, say aye.
I-
Ida County.
Number 9, discussion regarding Ida County and DOM reducing the levy for E EMS.
Because they need the money for what? They're taking our money,
Taking our
ability.
It's taking
our
it
cap.
out of the tips. So what it's doing is when a thing is in a TIF, it's not allowing that money to come off the TIF.
Okay.
So
And that's where
lower.
we lose close to $1,000. Seems like it'd be more than that.
It was. Let's see if I can pull up the state here.
Does this also need to be stamped?
Sure.
There's a couple of those.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Does it? I can stamp it, but I don't
It's
think so.
attached to,
It's
part of-
hers.
Well,
but it's
it's
still,
kind of a claim.
it's above and beyond.
Well, then there's another one.
Yeah, there is another one coming.
Did you get the emails from that guy? Because I sent him back what ours was that went down. It's like, I think it was like $10,000, wasn't it? Or was it?
That we lost?
Yeah.
I thought it went from 478 to 477, so.
I'll have to look again.
I'll leave it out just in case.
I can't get my email to come up on this computer.
OCD.
Carla, just real quick.
Hmm.
I got an email, and am I understanding, what's the mileage rate now? Is it 76?
You'll have to ask Chris.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, ours was just 1,000.
But theirs
Theirs was a lot.
was, yeah.
How did they get hit so hard?
Well, and then I asked about Cassuth, because they didn't put a cap number on it. I try to open a document, I end up playing games with. There.
And maybe we just need to,
Talk to Stone.
mhm.
Guess was it in there of what their changing rules was, or it's because of the TIF, right?
Yeah.
Which in a couple of years won't matter for us anyway, right?
Well, it's any tip. It's not just our tip. So it's gonna be
City Lake Mel, yeah, City Lake Mills is forever. So that hurts.
So what was the actual change? I mean, I know the dollar amount, but what was the actual?
Let
That
me.
we couldn't tax in the TIF districts
Hmm.
for the EMS.
Hmm.
So in the TIF districts, they don't need EMS services, I'm assuming?
Oh, there you go.
Lake Mills doesn't need to be covered by county E EMS.
So it's Senate File 2496. The law was signed by the governor on May 2nd. The bill updates Iowa Urban Renewal Law by adding certain emergency medical services property tax levies to the list of taxes that are excluded from the TIF calculations. This is effective for the 27 budgets already adopted and certified. For 27, the already budgeted and approved tax dollars will remain the same. Department of Management has revised your budget to apply your requested EMS dollars against the valuation with incremental value, thereby lowering the calculated EMS rate for all taxpayers. For example, Wright County submitted 27 property tax dollar request of $575,952 for EMS services, calculated at a rate of 0.50099 per $1,000 evaluation. After the law passage, the same tax dollar request applied to the valuation with an incremental value that can be generated with a lower rate of 0.45475 per $1,000 evaluation. It's very important you mirror this process in your local software. You must use the lower rate EMS. You must use the lower rate EMS rate certified to you by the Department of Management and ensure it is applied to your valuation with the TIF. The Department of Management rate recertification will take place by June 15th and you will be notified.
Hmm.
I still think with all the TIF we have, that number would have been
Bigger?
bigger, the reduction.
Yeah, it did.
Because if you include Lake Mills, you include our turbines and six.
I think we're lucky that the Department of Management, that it didn't take more.
You know, you would think that even they would be just a little bit cautious about taking EMS services away from. I mean,
They don't know that it happened.
well, you know, where is that going to come from otherwise? You know, I mean, well, we just want to be able to save so many people. Is that their theory? You know,
Well,
some of you may die.
my argument is the people voted for this.
Yeah,
Yeah. How can
We had to have
change
60%
this?
to vote.
yeah, yeah. So it's not just us corrupt supervisors.
Well, and it's already tight because of the dollar cap that was put on it in the vote for our attorneys.
Mhm.
So a lot of counties didn't have that cap, and so we're already behind the 8 ball.
Mm.
But we've only got, what, 4 years left on it, basically?
Yeah. I mean, if we,
How can they just do that?
well,
I
it
think
wasn't
we'll
actually,
Legislature, Department of Management.
it was the
Well,
administrative
both, I
rules
guess.
that the Department of Management put in that.
Yeah.
Of course, when 87% of Iowans are against something and they all still seem to support it. So it's not like they're listening to us anyway.
So do you want to tell Ida County, yes, we will support them, or just stay out of it?
What did we do? How much did we do? Didn't we do a
Yeah.
dollar amount, $1,000 or something one other time to a?
No, that was.
No, I know, but I mean,
And I don't know that this is necessarily requesting a dollar amount, it's just,
I think
They're
we should
requesting our
support 'em.
support,
I mean,
right?
we
Yes.
could- we
That
could
we're-
make a
we're on board with
resolution
But
to
I'm-
support
And
'em.
we are on board with it, so.
Okay.
It,
If we have to do a resolution, I say we do a
I
resolution.
do too.
mhm.
okay.
I just didn't know if they were asking for any money to
No,
go
they're
with
not
it.
asking for money, they're just asking for support.
Well, that's easy. I have a brother-in-law who has a famous line whenever anybody's doing any difficult, hard work. He always says, "Is there anything I can say to help you?" Do. Oh, open forum, huh? I saw that.
Yes, I do have manure management.
Yeah, we haven't done open forum yet. Oh, it's time for open forum.
Stone has been in both of the parades that I've been to this year.
He's always in the prairies.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't make it.
RSVP is no longer,
I know, we just read that.
okay.
So can we put that towards roadside spraying?
It's the wrong fund, but we could maybe,
Did we do 5,000 or 8,000? What did we do then?
That
Eight.
come out of general basic then, or?
yeah, they come out of general, the RSVP came out of, miscellaneous and general basic.
Maybe that's where the match of the cat grant came from.
I already saw this once. Is this just another one? Must be another one.
That's probably on the salary side of it.
You know this guy?
No. You,
Yes, I do. That all there was for open forum?
that's not my district, so I wouldn't have to know that person.
I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. In another meeting.
Yes. That's publicized on our new monitor in the window.
Or slightly used monitor.
Slightly used.
Ethan, it actually really does come up with some good ideas.
Well, that's what we started with, was the used monitor that we put up there, but you can't see it, so.
Well, I mean, our IT person wanted to make sure it was effective and that was his job. I mean, but
That's right.
do we need it to be effective? Probably not. Not at that cost.
The other thing is, when we looked at it, it was like 4 in the afternoon. So when the sun goes down, you will be able to see it. That's
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
when the doors are locked.
right.
There's probably just
You'll be able
a
to see
few
it.
hours in the afternoon that it
So that's our story and we're sticking to it.
Amen.
because, you know, the buildings across the street are gonna block, you know, some sun at some point, some trees over there.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the evening they might be able to see. I'm guessing there's a lot of, between midnight and sunset and sunrise, people coming to watch that monitor. So,
And you don't want that breezeway
Alright.
open.
No, I do not. That's
have we completed our agenda here? It looks like it.